Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. And today we are back with some more of those beautiful PNSO minifigures. We have got 3 more for you today. And today we are going to look at, and as you can see for yourself, Duke the Spinops, Brown the Chasmosaurus, and Ripley the Xenoceratops. And I can tell you right now from looking at these guys through the package that these are incredible looking, and actually I might like these better than I like the previous 3 theropods that we looked at before, because I don't know what it is exactly, but these Ceratopsians are painted so stinking nice and sculpted so beautifully. I don't know, I just can't wait any longer to get these out of the package. So let's go ahead and do that now. And again, as before we go ahead and take them out, let's take a quick look. You can see that they do, in fact, have that beautiful packaging with the picture in the background that shows you the dinosaur in its natural habitat. And I just absolutely adore the fact that they do this, because I think it just looks so super cool. It's just incredible to be able to have that visualization of the dinosaur in the area that it actually lived. So again, kudos to PNSO for pulling that off, because that just takes the overall appearance of this to another level of beauty. Okay, we've got them all out of the package, and my god, will I tell you that these are breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking, and I am not kidding you by any means. Once I actually give you guys a closer look at these Ceratopsians, you will see exactly what I'm talking about when I tell you just how unbelievable these little minifigures are. But before I do that, let's take a look here at Duke the Spinops and his little package that he's got here. Of course, you've got the front there showing the habitat that the dinosaur lived in. But look at that. Look how nice that is. An absolutely awesome picture on the inside here of the Spinops itself. Again, these little booklets are what really put these things over the edge for me into another level of awesome. Look at that. That is awesome. This is Brown the Chasmosaurus. Again, just showing you these dinosaurs living in their natural habitat in a very beautiful picture. And of course, we've got Ripley the Xenoceratops, and there you go. Just incredible. These little booklets that they include with these figures, I just cannot get enough of them. I absolutely love everything about the presentation of these minifigures, and you really get your money's worth when you purchase these. But as I said, breathtaking is the word I would use for these mini Ceratopsians. So without further ado, let's get a closer look and you can see why. We will start with Duke the Spinops, and just look at that. Look at how insanely nice that is. But anyway, we'll start up here at the sculpt of the head. Look at how beautiful this is. The insane amount of detail on the head sculpt. Look at that, that's just crazy. Look how beautifully painted the eye is. That eye is painted perfectly, and that detail and sculpt around the eye is just incredible. And I love that lighter coloration that they have included around the eye to really make that pupil and the whole eye area really pop. That beak is painted very nicely. Lots of very nice detail put into the beak as well. The nostrils look great. That horn right here on the front of the head looks fantastic. Very nicely painted and very nicely sculpted. And again, on this side, same deal as far as the detail around the eye. Just looks absolutely incredible. And if we start to run up here onto the crest, you can see just how nice that crest looks. The sculpting of the actual scales and everything all over the place on the crest look incredible, and I think that the actual coloration applied is just so beautiful. I really love this blue that they've added here onto the sides of the crest. Just gives it such a striking look and makes the entire thing just really pop and jump out at you. The horns up here on the top are sculpted and painted very nicely as well. Look how incredible that is. So the overall appearance of this Spinops is just awesome, and for the mere fact that we are getting a Spinops here from PNSO is just as awesome. It's a species that I can't ever recall anybody having a figure of previously, so for us to finally get one, we get one from PNSO, who may have the best dinosaur figures on the planet, and we get one that is just this nice and makes it just so much more awesome. Even the detailing on the back of the frill here, look how insane that is. That just looks awesome. The paint applied to this is just as awesome as well, because you can really see that it looks so natural and so real. It is just very beautifully applied and just genuinely looks like a real living animal as far as the coloration goes. And there are so many different variations of color throughout the body. It's just super impressive to me. And then we get back here into the actual sculpting of the body. You can see that the shoulder blade is slightly elaborated there. And then we get down here into the leg. This leg is perfectly sculpted. It's pushing back here against the skin right behind the leg. So very nice attention to detail, the way the skin is folded. That looks incredible. The feet are very nicely sculpted as well. Then we get to the stomach region here. You can see some very nice skin folds. And you can actually see the skin stretching a little bit here as the rear leg here on the right is pulling the skin back a little bit. And then we get back up here. You can see the hip bone is really nicely elaborated. Beautiful musculature here in the leg. Into the back foot here. Looks very, very nice. Everything looks to be sculpted really honestly perfectly. And the tail looks very beautiful as well. I'm really impressed with the way that they've applied this paint, because it kind of looks like it's just either been dry brushed on, or they put a very light coloration for a like wash over the primary body of the figure, and it really makes all the detail pop and just looks so real to me that it's super, super impressive. And then looking at this side again, you can see that the head looks very good. And then we come down here into the neck, some very nice creases in the skin of the neck, a little bit of hanging skin on the underside of the throat. You can see that the shoulder blade here is really nicely elaborated on the upper part of the leg. And then we come down, the beautiful front leg here is sculpted very nicely. You can see even in the way that the leg is bent, you can see that the skin is just reacting perfectly to the way it should. Lots of little skin folds and creases in the skin, a little bit of hanging skin here off the stomach. And then we come back into this leg here. In the left side, you can see the leg is pushing into the skin a little bit, and the skin is scrunching up because of it. Again, very nice attention to detail. Beautiful musculature in the rear leg here on the Spinops as well. The feet also look fantastic. And then we get up here into the tail also. So the overall appearance of this Spinops is awesome. I really, really cannot get over how nice this is. And honestly, these are without question the best minifigures that I have ever seen, ever, anywhere. They are just absolutely unbelievable. And now we are taking a look at the Chasmosaurus, which I am super excited for, because I feel like Chasmosaurus is one of the best Ceratopsians. It's probably my favorite Ceratopsian, and it's one that has never really gotten a very good figure. And the ones that we have gotten so far are just kind of meh from other companies. So as soon as I found out that PNSO is making a mini Chasmosaurus, I was beyond excited, and I can assure you that it has completely lived up to my expectations. Taking a look here at the head sculpt, again, look how incredibly nice the detail and sculpt is on this. That horn up there on the top looks beautiful. You can see some very, very nice, very small, subtle sculpt work put into the actual horn as far as the detailing goes. The beak looks beautiful. It's very, very nicely painted. Honestly, there's no sloppiness anywhere as far as that goes. Look at the eye. The eye is painted so nicely. Beyond perfectly painted. And then we get up here into this incredible crest. Look at the coloration of the frill here. That is just awesome. The frill looks beautiful. So striking. It honestly is almost mesmerizing how nice that looks. Coming down here over to the other side. It's just unbelievable. These minifigures are just blowing me completely away. The sheer amount of sculpt and detail that is in these just is absolutely jaw-dropping. This is what you would expect from like a big figure, like a much larger figure, to get this kind of sculpt and detail in it. Honestly, anything that you would see in like a full-blown, full-sized version of a Chasmosaurus or any of these other dinosaurs is all present here in these very, very small figures, and it's unbelievable how nice they are. Again, as I've said numerous times with these mini PNSO figures, you can see that there are all sorts of variation of color throughout the body here, all over the head and everything, and it just looks incredible. You look behind the frill, again, some very nice detail and sculpt back there as well. And then we get down here into the neck. You see the shoulder blade is somewhat elaborated there as we come back from the neck. Very nice detail all over. Coming down here again into the legs. And again, like, just you can see the way the coloration changes ever so slightly to a lighter coloration here on the foot. It's just amazing to me how many different variations of color they put into these things. They really honestly go the extra mile on everything that they do. You can see coming back up here into the back, there's some stripes that kind of run the course of the body here. Very, very thin stripes, but they look very cool. And then that beautiful musculature here on the rear leg. You can see the hip bone is really quite elaborated. And there's this beautiful white underbelly that kind of creeps up here onto the stomach. Really makes it look nice, very striking. Beautiful musculature here in the calf of the back leg, and the feet look good as well. And then that tail also looks very, very nice. Beautiful curve to it. And this side looks just as nice. Really, really beautiful work all over the place. Everything about this Chasmosaurus is just beautiful. And then we've got Ripley the Xenoceratops, and oh god, it's just unbelievable. These things are just incredible. I cannot get over it. Look at how nice the detail and sculpt is here on the head. There's no sloppiness anywhere. The eye is painted very nicely. Look at that, that's beautiful. I love that black stripe that kind of runs the length here of the eye. And the entire sculpt and detail of this is just jaw-dropping. As I've said numerous times, I honestly just cannot get over it. It's just unbelievable to me how nice this looks. And again, there are just so many different variants of color just here on the head. Just look everywhere. You just see it very, very subtly changing colors into different areas, really making it look like a real living animal, because on real living animals you will see subtle variations of color or similar colors but different tones, and with this and all these other minifigures you are really seeing that, and it just takes these things to a completely other level as far as the way that they look. Again, that frill is sculpted beautifully and very natural looking colors, but at the same time, again, very striking appearance to this dinosaur figure. The horns up top are just really, really nicely sculpted and painted as well. And then we start to come back into the neck here. Behind the crest here also looks very, very nice detail. Again, the shoulder blade is sticking out here a little bit. You can see it quite elaborated. The legs look very nice, the feet look beautiful. Very nice sculpt work. Coming back into the stomach, again, you can see the skin stretching here in the rear leg as it's pulling it and stretching it away from the body. See all sorts of creases in the skin and some skin folds and stuff. Beautiful hip bone here in the back. Again, very nicely elaborated as it's been with the other Ceratopsians as well. And very nice musculature in this rear leg. Beautifully sculpted and painted feet. And then we get back to the very nicely sculpted tail. Very slight curve in it. And again, that body color is similar to the way the Spinops was, with the either dry brushing that's been done or that very nice light colored wash that's put over it. That just really makes that whole area just pop and makes the detail look so real and legit. And just again, like I was saying, look at the variation of color. Like you can see browns and lighter colorations and like a darker, almost a green up here on the top, and there's a little bit of gray, and then there's some black. It's just unbelievable how many different variants of color they have been able to cram into such a small, tiny figure. Again, that front leg looks very good, and if we look here back to the rear leg, it's pushing forward, scrunching up the skin in the stomach. Again, that incredible attention to detail on the part of PNSO, and the tail also looks fantastic on this one as well. So these Ceratopsians are just surefire wins. So honestly, these Ceratopsians are even nicer, in my opinion, than the previous theropods that we have looked at in the last review. These things are easily the nicest minifigures I've ever seen. They put the Mattel Jurassic World ones to shame, and they overall might be some of the best Ceratopsian figures in general that I have seen ever. Not just minifigures, I'm talking large-scale figures and everything. These things are just absolutely unbelievable. And for a size, again, as I mentioned, they are very, very small. So on the Spinops, from the front of the face here to the tail, you're looking at a little, almost 3¼ inches, or about 8 centimeters. For a height, there's not really too much for a height. So you're looking somewhere in the 2-inch range, or about 5, maybe close to 5.5 centimeters. And they're all going to be fairly similar in size because they are all around the same size. Go from the front of the face here to the tail, again about 3 inches or about 8 centimeters. And for a height, once again about 5 inches or about 2 centimeters. They are really all pretty much about the exact same size. So again, oh, he's a little bit bigger, so he's about 3¼ inches, somewhere in that very close vicinity and a little over 8 centimeters. And for a height, you're looking at a little bit under 2 inches or a tiny bit under 5 centimeters. And again, for a size comparison, all of a sudden these little Ceratopsians look like babies because our large friend, the Paparex, has stepped in here to compare his size to them. Obviously, nowhere even remotely close in this universe to scale, but you can get a pretty good idea of how small they are. And like I said in the last review of the theropods, you cannot dare deny that there is insanely incredible detail and sculpt and paint and everything put into these for the sheer size of them. And just for some further size comparison, there are the 3 theropods that I reviewed in the last video from the PNSO minifigures, and you can get a good idea of how big they are compared to these Ceratopsians right there. Should give you a pretty good idea of the size of these figures. So I was insanely impressed with the first group of theropods, those first 3 that I had previously reviewed. But these 3 Ceratopsians just took this to a whole new level. These things are unbelievable. And I know I keep saying that, but honestly, if you go ahead and purchase these guys from Amazon, or even just one, honestly, pick a favorite and order it, you will be just as blown away as I am, I promise you, because it is unbelievable how small these things are, but so insanely highly detailed. And again, the paint is just absolutely awesome. There is no sloppiness or anything on any of them as far as the paint goes. They are all picture perfect and beautiful. PNSO has really stepped it up since returning to the dinosaur figure game, and they are showing you just why they are going to quickly become probably the leader in dinosaur figures for the future. They are honestly my favorite company as far as these figures go. They make better figures and more of a variety as far as these minifigures than any other company does. There's so many and they pop them out so quickly. It's just unbelievable to me. Unbelievable. I will continue to say that word till the day I die, that the way I would describe these minifigures is unbelievable. So do yourself a favor and go ahead and order some of them from Amazon right now so you can be just as impressed as I am. Again, I will throw links to each and every one of these guys in the description, so you can go ahead and follow that link straight to each individual dinosaur on Amazon.com, or you can go ahead and actually order the entire box of them and just have every single one of these minifigures. And trust me, you won't regret buying even the whole box because they are all just as beautiful as these 3 Ceratopsians. So go ahead, head on over to Amazon, pick some of these up for yourself, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.